Except me, you mean? So that is Tulpa, live in session, Transfixed Gaze, which is great. And so, Josie Kirk on bass and vocals, would you like to introduce your bandmates, please?
Yeah, of course. So we've got Dan Heineman on guitar and backing vocals, Mike on drums, Mike Ainsley on drums and backing vocals, and Miles Kirk on guitar.
Absolutely. And would you like to tell everybody where you stole these musicians from? What are the bands? The DNA?
Yeah, so Dan and Miles have played in Mush, and Mike is in Drala as well. So yeah, all different parts of the Leeds music scene, Wakefield music scene. Yeah.
There you go. Wakefield Rock City. And something struck me. Mush, obviously a great band. We had them in session, played them a lot. And Mush, just being one letter different to Lush, which is a band who you do kind of remind me of a little bit. I mean, they're probably not on your radar, actually. I mean, are you aware of the band Lush?
Yeah, a little bit. We nicked. I think we nicked Mush off the Leatherface record, Mush.
Did you really?
We didn't really sound that much like at all, to be honest, but I think we were just short of a name at the time when I was listening to that record, so we stole it. But I have heard a bit of Lush, and they're good, but I'm not an expert on them by any means.
Yeah, they are. They're great, and so are you. And that's funny you should say about Mush and Leatherface. I don't know if their time is coming round again, but we did repeat a session from the band a couple of weeks ago now, and then we got loads of emails in saying, oh yeah, what a band. And we used to have them in session on a very old programme, like going back 30 years maybe, called Hit the North. So Leatherface, probably a reunion out there. Wembley, Blur have done it, Oasis,
Yes.
Just saying. So I don't mind who answers this. What is a tulpa?
I think, Dan, you should take this one.
Okay, it's a mythical being that is manifested into existence through the power of concentration.
Ooh.
We do it frequently.
So there's like a magazine track, Maya Tulpa, but I wasn't. I think I had heard of it, but that wasn't where we got it from. I think we nicked it off. It was the new Twin Peaks return. There's a load of tulpas knocking about in one of those episodes, and I was like, that sounds like a bit like Pixies or something, and I was like, oh, that'll work, like mythical being. So that sounds a bit cool. Dan,
you're far too honest. You've just admitted to ripping off two different things. You're supposed to not go into that kind of depth.
We're here to break down the mistake, and that's it.
Okay, well, I mean, you've already played for us earlier on in the programme, Let's Make a Tulpa. So does that just involve you all just really concentrating very, very hard?
We're a deep kind of band, yeah.
Yeah, okay, right, okay. So how did the band come about? Obviously, we've talked about the component parts, but who got introduced to who to make this happen in the first place?
Yeah, so Dan was wanting to write some slightly different, more sort of, melodic kind of songs, and heard me singing around the house a lot and was like, she'll do. So that's how I got involved, and then Mike, obviously I think Dan knows Mike from just sort of the music scene in Leeds, and Miles the same. Miles is also my little brother, so that's how he gets involved. But no, also Miles is a brilliant guitarist.
So you're in the same house. That does explain an awful lot, but I tell you what, it reminds me also, going back, I hate to be too nostalgic about this, but with the Wakefield thing, it's just too much for me to resist. When we had the Cribs live in session way back, obviously, I'm talking about 2006 quite possibly, and I said to the twins, I said, I know how you met, but how did you meet the drummer? And he went, well, in our house, he's our brother. I was like, oh, that's typical me, that. What an idiot. So, but you know that already. So things are moving fast for you. You're announcing an album now.
Yeah, and so the record's coming out on Skepwax. It's called Monster of the Week, and it's coming out this November. So it's all happening really quick. We've got nothing out at the minute, but very soon you will be able to listen to the whole lot of it, just in like 2 months' time.
Okay, excellent stuff. And you've got some shows coming up. Well, first things first, with Pale Blue Eyes, who are friends of the programme, this Saturday at Hebden Bridge at the Trades. Yeah. And then the tour, the 26th of October, Nottingham JT Saw, the 27th Ramsgate Music Hall, the 28th Portsmouth Cola, the 29th Bristol, The Lanes, 31st Sheffield Delicious Clam, the 1st of November Manchester Camera. I keep saying that venue, and I haven't been to it yet, and I only know about it because it's on tour dates. But you've written here, Dan, in very small writing, new venue above what?
Lloyd and Platt in Chorlton.
Oh.
They used to be called the Lloyds.
Yeah, so well, I was in there last week with Michelle and Badly Drawn Boy and BC Camplight.
Rumour is it's upstairs.
Just the sound of me name dropping. Right, okay, great. That's where camera is. Thank you. The 29th of November, Leeds Wharf Chambers. The 30th of November, you're playing the Lexington in London.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Tulpa, for coming in and playing for us. You've got 2 tunes left to do for us. And would you like to do them now? And what are they?
The first one is called
Psyops.
Psyops, and then Raw Nerve.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Cheers, Mark.